That's right. Every fighter in Super Smash Bros. History is joining the battle.
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 20 E3 moments of all time.
What about Star Fox?
I'm pleased to announce Xbox One backward compatibility.
We can't wait to show you what's on the way.
For this list, we'll be going over the most show-stopping and enjoyable moments from E3 presentations of the past. If there's a great gaming expo moment we missed, please be sure to let us know in the comments. Number 20, Konami's press conference, E3 2010.
I just keep losing my
This is the conference dreams and memes are made of. One of the most awkward E3 events of all time, Konami's 2010 conference is a parade of hopelessly bizarre and cringeworthy presenters. Imagine if Tommy Wiseau directed an E3 conference.
In fact, the next match will take place at 4:45 p.m. today in the South Hall at our slang booth. Come by and see the battle for yourselves.
There are musical performances, a definitely not PG rap, magic tricks, wrestlers slapping each other, creepy staring, and technical issues with trailers. Tak Fuji is a definite highlight, as his not quite understandable speech is chock full of meme fodder lines. No wonder Konami has been going downhill in the years since. There's just no way they could top this.
You'll be sucked. Right?
Number 19, Bethesda's press conference, E3 2015.
You all came. This is amazing. I need to let me take this in. Holy crap.
Amazingly, for a publisher that has created so many massive games, this was Bethesda's first ever E3 conference. They slotted in alongside the big guns seamlessly with a simple yet effective presentation for a number of huge titles. While Doom and Dishonored 2 were exciting reveals in their own right, the first look at Fallout 4 is what fans were really after. Post-apocalyptic Boston looked downright beautiful, and the crowd barely had any breath left for the game's surprisingly early release date. You couldn't ask for a better start than this. Number 18, The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess reveal, E3 2004.
I hope you've all enjoyed our program this morning. But before you leave, I'd like you to step inside one more world for Nintendo GameCube.
Just a year or so after the release of the divisive Wind Waker, Zelda fans were given an unexpected treat that was greeted with rapturous appreciation. There had been demands for Nintendo to create a Zelda game that combined mature themes with realistic graphics, and a smiling Shigeru Miyamoto wielding a Master Sword and a shield was more than happy to deliver just that for millions of delighted fans. The standing ovation the short trailer received showed this was not just another soulless E3 presentation, but a reveal that was genuinely important in people's lives. Number 17, Super Mario 64 demo, E3 1996.
This game is much more wide open. You have full freedom to move around in a very large 3D environment. The way the game is structured, it's actually all focused around this castle.
Back in 1996, gaming was almost an entirely 2D experience, and the few 3D games out there had fixed perspectives or tank controls. Enter Super Mario 64 at that year's E3.
Mommy Penguin's baby. And then you have the second or third star by coming in this chimney, and the mommy will be happy to take you on in a race down the bottom.
Watching this super chill live demo of the game hosted by Ken Lobb feels enchanting and novel today, so we can only imagine how magical it felt for those who saw it at the time. Hearing things like standard 3D movement, camera controls, and 80 hours of gameplay described as selling points is bizarre nowadays, but back then, it had to be mind-blowing.
We all have to move on, so we'll show you a couple other games.
Cool.
Number 16, Reggies Fils-Aimé's Introduction, E3 2004.
But let me tell you one other thing. This is not a promise for what we're going to do sometime in the future. It's what we're doing right now.
This is the beginning of the Regilution. Nintendo of America's former president Reggies Fils-Aimé got his first introduction to the public eye at E3 2004. And what an introduction. Right from his opening words, fans knew he was going to be the new face of Nintendo.
My name is Reggie. I'm about kicking ass. I'm about taking names. And we're about making games.
2003's conference was kind of weak, but Reggie reassured everyone that Nintendo wasn't messing around this year. He was unapologetic about Nintendo appealing to all gamers, not just the hardcore crowd, and his direct yet approachable presence had everyone hanging on his every word. No wonder he was the face of the company for so long.
All about the game, all about the gamer, or in other words, all about you.
Number 15, Shawn Laydens' speech, E3 2014.
New hardware, new network services. The pace of innovation at PlayStation continues to accelerate.
A lot of gaming presentations catch flack for being dry and shilling only the biggest titles or the latest hardware. This is why former Sony Interactive Entertainment president Shawn Layden felt so easy to connect with. While his presentation in 2014 is solid throughout, the real highlight was his mention of Vib Ribbon, an obscure yet creative rhythm game from PlayStation that had never been released in America.
A little earlier, I was delighted to hear Andy give a shout out to one of the most iconic games of our time, Vib Ribbon.
Although some fans were naturally salty that no re-release appeared forthcoming, it eventually did come, others found Layden drawing attention to the game's quality over its monetary success refreshing.
After all, guys, it's all about the games, isn't it?
Number 14. Nintendo teams up with Robot Chicken, E3 2014.
Reggie
Fisame.
If you say so.
It may have been an unlikely partnership, but one of the world's biggest video game companies and the team at Adult Swim Animation managed to create some unexpected gold. In order to avoid embarrassing onstage mishaps and to engage with their audience better, hilarious skits were pre-recorded starring some of Nintendo's biggest mascots.
Looks like I'm the new face of Nintendo. Hey, they promised me you wouldn't be here!
Bowser apologizes for repeatedly kidnapping Peach, Mario gets angry for not having his usually yearly release, and annoying fanboys shout at Reggie Fils-Aimé from the crowd. It masterfully pokes fun at Nintendo's own shortcomings and perfectly parodies the ravenous culture surrounding every E3 event.
What about Star Fox?
Number 13. Sweet Tooth rolls on stage, E3 2010.
Light 'em up, boys.
Twisted Metal is a franchise like no other. It's the original car combat game. So, when Sony unveiled a new trailer at E3 2010, fans were already pretty hyped to see a live-action version of the demented clown mascot on screen. And then, after the trailer, Sweet Tooth drives out on stage in his ice cream truck in front of the audience. It was like seeing a video game character come to life before our eyes. While the final game ended up delayed and didn't really deliver on the promise displayed at the conference, this moment remains, well, metal. Number 12. Nintendo 3DS reveal.
This is Nintendo 3DS.
Even though the device had been announced a few months prior to E3, there was still plenty of anticipation to see its plethora of features firsthand. The social applications were intriguing, but it was always going to be the glass's free 3D capability that would get consumers clamoring.
You can maximize it, or you can remove the 3D altogether, or you can choose any degree in between.
It could have been overshadowed by the announcements of a GoldenEye remake and Skyward Sword for the Wii, but the graphical power of the handheld when showing off Kid Icarus Uprising was exceptional enough to make it stand out of a packed Nintendo conference.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
Number 11. Crash Bandicoot Remastered, E3 2016. In 2016, we had gone 6 years without a new Crash Bandicoot game, 8 without a new entry in the main series. While not the longest drought in gaming, it was nothing to dismiss. Then, Shawn Layden walked out on stage with Crash as his shadow and the classic music played him on. For Crash fans, it was like getting handed a gallon of water in the desert. Layden promising a remaster of the first 3 games got everyone excited. Of course, his announcement just after that Crash would appear in Skylanders got a rare negative applause, but the prospect of the remastered trilogy kept fans energized until the remaster's release the next year.
The original Crash, Crash 2, and Crash Warped
fully remastered from the ground up for PlayStation 4.
Number 10, everyone is here. E3 2018. When it comes to E3 hype, few other franchises are as consistently rewarding as Super Smash Bros. There are so many legendary moments. Snake being announced for Brawl, the original Melee character reveals, Mega Man in Smash 4, Banjo-Kazooie finally getting into Ultimate, but they all pale in comparison to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate's big reveal trailer. In it, we learned that every single previous fighter would be available in the game. It's a crossover that makes the MCU look amateurish. The internet basically exploded with this announcement. Grown men wept, memes were born, the hype was at levels previously unrecorded. Even rewatching the reveal now, we still get goosebumps. Number 9. Xbox One's backwards compatibility. E3 2015.
The games you've invested your time and money in, and the games you want to continue to play, will be playable natively on your Xbox One.
Xbox has had a rocky road over the last decade or so, but this announcement at 2015's E3 went a long way towards regaining customers' goodwill. One of the most disheartening things about getting a new console is the fact that you can't play your old games on it. In this presentation, Phil Spencer announced that Xbox One would feature backwards compatibility to allow gamers to play Xbox 360 games on the Xbox One.
I'm pleased to announce Xbox One backward compatibility.
Not only was the announcement well received by fans, but it was also a subtle jab at PlayStation since the PS4 wasn't able to play PS3 games on it. Sometimes, to move forward, you have to look back.
Our goal is to deliver the largest games catalog ever on Xbox, and Xbox One backward compatibility allows us to do just that.
Number 8. Showing off the Wii. E3 2006. Nintendo's first console with motion controls was greeted rather dubiously in the lead-up to its reveal. The name in particular is easy to make fun of. The jokes just write themselves. However, Nintendo went a long way towards dispelling those doubts with their 2006 E3 presentation. We got to see Miyamoto conduct a virtual orchestra in a tux. We saw the solid lineup of games for the new system, including third-party titles and a gorgeous new Mario game set in space. There was even a live demo of Wii Sports. And through it all, Reggie had us believing that the Wii would bring a whole new dimension and more accessibility to gaming, and it did. Mostly.
Let me just say that on behalf of the names you love from Nintendo and our partners, we can't wait to show you what's on the way.
Number 7. Gabe's surprise entrance. E3 2010.
Hi, my name is Gabe Newell and I work at Valve.
When the Lord and Savior Gaben blesses you with his presence, you have to sit up and take notice. The crowd knew they were in for something special when Portal's very own GLaDOS initiated the emergency surprise system to usher the director of Valve onto stage.
Deploying surprise in 3, 2, 1.
It was made even more surprising by coming in during Sony's conference, the same company that designed the console Newell had previously called a total disaster. By saying that Portal 2 would be best played on PS3, he had pulled a complete 180 that was perhaps due to threats from VP of Sharpening Things, Kevin Butler.
So I'd really like to thank everyone at Sony for their gracious hospitality and for not repeatedly punching me in the face.
Number 6. Kevin Butler owns the show. E3 2010.
Peter, you look like you could use a Coke.
Kev, you know, there was a rumor you were going to show up.
Peter, you can't believe everything you read on the internet.
This fictional executive had become a hugely popular marketing figure before E3 2010, but sealed his cult status with a rousing performance during Sony's conference. He has held a number of hilarious fake positions, but as VP of Fanboy Relations, no one is more qualified to talk directly to hardcore gamers. He was only on stage for 5 short minutes, but his humor resonated with everyone watching.
But seriously, I know everyone's got their eye on this motion control battle like it was Olivia Munn and a Lara Croft outfit.
He was actually there to plug the PlayStation Move, but did it in such a way that you barely noticed what was going on, leaving you wishing more presentations were less business and more Butler. Number 5. Nintendo DS announcement, E3 2004.
But this is Nintendo DS action, playing on our new portable system.
Okay, this is the last one from Nintendo's 2004 conference, we swear. But come on, it was stacked with great moments. Best of all was the reveal of the Nintendo DS. Seeing the new handheld for the first time was astonishing.
This is Nintendo DS.
The dual screens were cool enough, but features like 3D graphics, touchscreen controls, and Wi-Fi capability were completely unheard of on a portable console at the time. The possibilities had the crowd salivating so much, it's no wonder the DS went on to become the best-selling handheld console of all time.
Wi-Fi means you can connect via the net. It's beyond online, it's no line.
Number 4. My Body is Ready, E3 2007.
So what we want to do is do a what we call a body check on somebody. So today, I think we'll do it with Reggie.
Are you prepared? We weren't when this moment dropped. During the 2007 Nintendo E3 conference, Shigeru Miyamoto and his translator debuted the Wii Fit balance board. To demonstrate it, they had Reggie come out again to do a demo for the audience. Before stepping onto it, Reggie awkwardly states that his body is ready.
My body is ready.
The line got a few laughs from the audience, but it wasn't until the internet got a hold of it that the moment took on legendary status. Thanks to countless memes, the phrase has become the go-to phrase for gamers and anyone else who's heavily anticipating something. Reggie even embraced it as a catchphrase, repeating it in several subsequent E3s.
Yes, my body was ready.
My puppet body is ready.
Number 3. Final Fantasy VII Remake announcement, E3 2015.
Tonight, I am proud to announce that by popular demand, we have a very special treat for everyone.
E3 2015 had some epic reveal trailers all around, with The Last Guardian finally getting another trailer, as well as Shenmue 3. Yet, neither can measure up to the hype surrounding this reveal trailer.
For they are coming back. At last, the promise has been made.
Final Fantasy VII is one of the most beloved RPGs of all time. For years, fans wanted a full HD remake with graphics that would do the story justice. But it was often treated as something we all wanted, but knew would never happen. And then, Sony's E3 2015 presentation dropped a bombshell of a trailer with gorgeous graphics and the magic word, remake. The level of hype at this announcement eclipses that of any other game reveal. Only something like Half-Life 3 and Breath of the Wild 2 could possibly eclipse it.
We're proud to announce that Final Fantasy VII Remake is coming first to PlayStation 4.
Number 2. PS1 Price E3 1995.
Sony Computer Entertainment President of America, Steve Reyes, joined me for a brief presentation.
The console wars have been around for decades, and the first E3 saw one of its most legendary shots fired. Sega, remember them? Kicked off the conference with a surprise announcement. Their new console, the Sega Saturn, would be available immediately, albeit for a price of $399. Then, Sony, the new kids on the block, gave their presentation. It was intentionally very dry and technical. Following this snorefest, President Steve Reyes set a single number, $299.
$299.
While the Saturn's limited library and high price were already negative points for it, the PS1's price being $100 cheaper was essentially a death knell for it, and the beginning of the end for Sega in general. It wouldn't be the last time Sony would body slam their opponents either. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Sony drops the mic on Microsoft, E3 2013.
They can trade in the game at retail.
sell it to another person, lend it to a friend, or keep it forever.
This absolute battering dealt out by the PS4 set the tone for the console wars, while also bringing back memories of the PS1's beating of the Sega Saturn in 1995. Sony didn't really have to do much work either. Microsoft did everything for them by announcing a slew of features hated by gamers, like restrictions on used games, needing to always be online, and costing $100 more than Sony's console. After quietly showing that the PS4 would deliver everything the Xbox wouldn't, Sony could focus on what really matters to gamers, games that look good and are even better to play.
I'm very proud to introduce the world gameplay premiere of Destiny.
To confirm Microsoft's humiliation, former Sony president Jack Tretton literally dropped, or threw, the mic.
I'm out.
Drop the mic. There you go. Trenton dropping the mic. Thank you, Jack Tretton.
In the mood for more awesome gaming content? Be sure to check out this video here on Mojo Plays. And don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.